Hi everyone, I'm Alejandra from Alejandra.tv, and in this video I'm going to organize a cabinet, take 10 minutes and just make it better than it currently is. So if you need accountability to organize some small area in your house that you've been waiting to organize, grab a timer, go to the space, and let's do it together. But first, if this is your first time watching any of my videos and you're just getting started with organizing, there's a link below to help you get started for free. All right, so I'm here in the kitchen and I'm right by this beautiful spice drawer that has all of our spices, and it's not really a mess, but it could have more order to it because a lot of the spices that we use are kind of scattered throughout, and what I want to do is put all of the spices that we use at the very top so they're nice and easy to grab right when we open the drawer, and then have the stuff that we don't really use that often, like this fennel seed that's in prime real estate right here, put that toward the bottom. So I have a timer right here, and I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes. And my only goal right now is, before I hit go, my only goal is to make this drawer better than what it currently is. And whatever space you have to organize, make that your goal also. In the next 10 minutes, make it better than what it currently is. All right, so ready, set, go. I'm going to put the timer back down here, and I'm just going to start at the top and go from there. So if something is not frequently used, I'm going to take it out from the top and just place it in front of me. And then I'm going to put all the things that we use very often, keep them at the top. And if there's a spice, or if you're organizing your spices, if there's a spice that's been hanging out in your cabinet for a really long time, look for an expiration date. If it's expired, pull it out. If it does not have an expiration date, open the spice, smell it, see if it still has a smell, and if you can't smell anything, it's probably bad. So just go ahead and pull it out. All right. Well, this one actually, you know what? This thing we can get rid of. That crushed pepper is not even hot anymore. All right, and actually, before I put anything back, I'm just going to create things that we use often versus things we don't use very often, and then we're going to put everything back. All right, it's only been a minute and a half. This is great. What you want to do when you're organizing spices is you don't want to keep them above or next to, this is kind of next to the stove, but this is a spice drawer. You ideally don't want the spices right above the stove because heat's going to rise and your spices may not last as long as they would if they were not above a heat source. All right, so again, I'm just doing a preliminary sort of all of the spices, and then we're going to put everything back in order. Or in better order, because again, my goal is just to make it better than what it currently was. Now, we are in a temporary space, which means we're not going to be here very long, so I'm not going to take the time and adjust these shelves. These shelves are adjustable, and I would move them around because the second shelf down here is pretty short, which means I can only store things that are like half the size, like these guys right here. But since we're in a temporary space, I'm just going to kind of leave it as is, and then just work with what I have. So once you take everything out, what you could do is grab a paper towel, grab a rag, and wipe down the shelves. I'm doing this under time, so I'm not going to do that right now. But all right, I've done my sort. Now I'm going to put everything back. So things I don't use very often, I'm going to put down here on these bottom two shelves. And if it does not, let's see, if it doesn't fit, I'm going to find a place where it does fit. Actually, all these ones I'm going to move right up here. right, so anything short, I'm gonna put on this shelf right here. All right, so when it comes to spices, there's so many different ways to organize spices, and like all the things around your house, there's so many different ways to organize them. When it comes to spices, you can organize them alphabetical. So, you know, you would have the A's in the front and then the Z's. If there's a Z spice toward the end, you can organize them by I've done it before by like the type of container they're in. So like all of these like glass McCormick's will be together, and then all of the different shape bottles, the other shape bottles will be together. You can organize them by frequency of use, kind of like what I'm doing right now. Or you can organize them by, how else can you organize them? I don't know, can't think of anything right now. But I like to do it either by size, by type of bottle, or by frequency of use, like what I'm doing right now. All right, so did those two shelves, those 3 shelves, that's what I meant to say. Now, actually this I'm gonna put somewhere else. That's not gonna fit, obviously. This. So what you don't see right now is there's another shelf, another spice cabinet at the top. I'm gonna put this up there. This is being thrown away because it's bad. This is gonna go with this one. It's a tall bottle. And these open ones, I'm gonna place at the bottom, which I'm just gonna put them in the middle just like that, so they don't fall to the sides. Again, we're in a temporary home. If I was gonna be here for a longer time, I would probably get a container that has sides so these things wouldn't just fall out the side. But that's good enough for now. And actually, I'm making tacos soon, so one of those things is gonna be gone shortly. All right, and this is gonna go somewhere else. These two, put that right there, and then that right there, that's not gonna fall out. All right, let's see. These are already falling. All right, you know what? These things I'm just gonna put somewhere else, but that can stay there. All right, that's it. That took a little more than 7 minutes. It took 7 minutes and 18 seconds. 7 minutes to completely organize a cabinet from messy to organized. Now, I know it was a small cabinet, but still only 7 minutes. And now I have a spice cabinet that is nice and organized with the spices I frequently use towards the top because I'm standing when I open the cabinet, and spices I don't use very often toward the bottom, and then small things on the second shelf right here. Beautiful. So whatever space you need to organize, I hope you set a timer. Go and do your 10 minutes, see how far you go. Remember to keep your goal as to make it better than it currently is. Set the bar nice and low. Have a nice low expectation for yourself. And then who knows, you might blow yourself out of the water with what you can accomplish in 10 minutes. If you don't have a spice cabinet like this one right here, and you're looking for other ways to organize your spices, Lazy Susans are great for spices because it's a round bottle. So it's a round bottle and you have a round organizer, so they maximize space. So Lazy Susan in an upper cabinet or in the pantry works well. You could also use a tiered shelf. A tiered shelf is like a step, it's like, you know, 3 steps, 1, 2, 3. You either put that in your upper cabinet or you can put it in your pantry. that works well for spices. And then you can also, they make this other organizer it's for cabinets, upper cabinets, and it goes along the 3 edges. And so right when you open the cabinet door, you see all of like the faces of the spices. They make that as well. And then the last option is, some people organize the spices in a drawer, like in a shallow kitchen drawer. And you just lay down all of your spices, not flat, but they're kind of at an angle. And they make organizers that line drawers, and they have like, it's just an organizer, like you put the spices in there and you see all the labels right when you open the drawer. So different ways to organize spices. I think what I love to do is organize them on a Lazy Susan because they work really well. You spin the thing, you see all the fronts, but just other options to consider if you don't have a drawer like this. If you want more videos, training, or support as you begin or continue your journey toward getting more organized, you can visit my website, Alejandra.tv. Thank you for being here. I'm grateful you watched this video, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.